Have you ever felt like there's a part of you that you need to hide from others? Maybe it's a mistake, a flaw, or just a lingering sense of not being good enough. It can happen suddenly. Your heart feels heavy, your mind starts racing, and what seemed minor turns into a flood of emotions. You might wonder later, why did that affect me so much? Why do I feel so vulnerable? The truth is, it's not just the situation that stirs up these feelings. It's the shame beneath it. Shame has a way of creeping in, making us feel small, unworthy, and disconnected. It chips away at our confidence and sense of self-worth, and if left unaddressed, it can quietly erode our relationships, work, and even how we see ourselves. But why does it have such a strong grip on us, and how can we begin to break free from it? Brené Brown, a leading researcher on the topic, describes shame as the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love, belonging, and connection. This explains why it cuts so deeply. It's not just about a specific action or fear of being judged. It's about a more profound, painful belief that something is inherently wrong with who we are. Shame pushes us to hide, stay silent, and avoid vulnerability, but this only allows it to grow stronger. In this video, we're going to explore what shame truly is, why it keeps us feeling stuck, and how you can start breaking free from its grip. We'll dive into how shame manifests both within ourselves and in how we think others see us, offering practical steps to help you reclaim your self-worth, live with confidence, and build stronger, more authentic connections. If you're ready to stop feeling burdened by shame and want to learn how to confront it head-on, stick around. By the end, you'll have the tools to break free from shame's grip and start living a more authentic, fulfilling life. Shame is a deeply rooted emotion that goes beyond just feeling embarrassed or guilty. It's the painful sensation of believing that there's something fundamentally wrong with who you are, making you feel unworthy of love, acceptance, or belonging. Unlike guilt, which focuses on what we've done, shame targets our sense of self, leaving us feeling small, disconnected, and undeserving. When shame surfaces, it's often because something in the present stirs up unresolved beliefs about ourselves, usually stemming from past experiences. Shame has two main faces, internal and external. Internal shame is how we perceive ourselves. It's that inner voice that criticizes and judges, constantly reminding us of our flaws and shortcomings. For example, you might catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never measure up." These thoughts don't just appear out of nowhere. They're often rooted in past experiences, like feeling rejected or not measuring up to certain standards growing up. External shame is driven by how we think others see us. This form of shame revolves around the fear of being judged, criticized, or rejected by others. Imagine you're at a social gathering and someone makes a passing remark about your appearance. Instantly, you might feel a rush of anxiety or a need to hide, even though the comment wasn't intended to be hurtful. This reaction is rooted in the fear of how others perceive you, shaped by past experiences, like being teased or criticized when you were younger. As Brené Brown explains, shame is the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love, belonging, and connection. Shame thrives on secrecy, silence, and judgment. It convinces us to hide our perceived flaws, to bury our struggles, and to keep our insecurities under wraps, out of fear that exposing them will lead to rejection. But the more we try to conceal our shame, the more powerful it becomes, quietly influencing how we see ourselves and how we interact with others. The key to breaking free from shame is to recognize and acknowledge it. Understanding where these feelings come from, whether internal or external, can help loosen their grip. By bringing shame into the light and examining it with compassion, you can begin to see that it doesn't define who you are. So how do we start dismantling the power of shame and reclaim our sense of self-worth? So, how can you start addressing shame in your life? It begins with something powerful, self-compassion. Imagine this, you just made a mistake at work, and instead of spiraling into a harsh self-critique, you pause, you think, what if it's okay to make mistakes? What if this doesn't define my worth? Suddenly that weight starts to lift. This shift not only prevents a downward spiral of negative thoughts, but also gives you a chance to recover, learn, and even grow from the experience. But let's be real for a moment. When you sense that external shame creeping in, perhaps worrying that others see you as inadequate, how do you react? Do you shrink back or do you stand your ground? Remember, everyone has moments of self-doubt, even those who seem perfectly put together. Picture yourself in a situation where you might say, even if I didn't handle that perfectly, it doesn't mean I'm less valuable. This kind of thinking can open the door for healing, allowing you to confront shame rather than be consumed by it. But what if I told you that this is just the beginning of reclaiming your power? Another crucial step is challenging the stories you tell yourself. Think about it. When you're at a family gathering and someone makes a comment about your life choices, what thoughts race through your mind? You might feel that familiar pang of shame, that old belief echoing, I'll never be good enough for them. But here's the turning point. By questioning that thought, you can disrupt its grip. Ask yourself, is this really true? And explore other perspectives. Could it be that one comment doesn't define your worth at all? Reflect on all the achievements you're proud of. Byron Katie's approach, asking, is it true, is a powerful tool in these moments. It creates space for more balanced thinking, helping you confront those damaging narratives. But can you imagine how liberating it would feel to stop being held captive by those thoughts? This process of self-awareness and reframing isn't just a one-time fix. It's an ongoing journey. With each step of challenging those inner critics and practicing self-compassion, you move closer to emotional freedom. By understanding how shame operates, both internally and externally, you create room to see yourself with greater clarity, kindness, and resilience. But here's the challenge. Will you take that first step toward liberation, or will you let shame continue to dictate your life? The choice is yours, and the path to healing begins with you. As we wrap up, remember that confronting shame is a courageous act. It's about unraveling those tightly woven beliefs and allowing yourself to be seen for who you truly are, flaws and all. The journey to reclaiming your self-worth may not always be easy, but with self-compassion and the willingness to challenge your inner critic, you can begin to break free from the chains of shame. So I encourage you, take that step, embrace your imperfections, and cultivate a life filled with connection, love, and authenticity. You are worthy, and your journey is just beginning.